Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Two Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to give you guys our review of Such Devils We Shame by Amidst the Withering. So this band is a band a lot of you guys most likely have not heard of. They are decently old, formed in 1999, they're from Atlanta. And this band actually approached us asking, hey, we got this new material, could you guys check out the album? And all we asked of them was that, hey, could you guys just send us each a t-shirt and just give us some permission to play your music in our video? They agreed, so here we are with our review of this album on its release day.
Yeah, and we're gonna give you guys a sample of this album right now. Alright, yeah, so that was a taste of a song called Unveiled Before the Blind, which is one of my favorite songs on the album after listening to this album for an entire week. As TV Fish said, we'll just reiterate a little bit, this is a two-piece band. They were formed in '99, but they had a lot of issues. They started off as a full band, some members left, they had some, complications with members having different things going on in their lives and things like that. But over the past few years, these two guys have settled down and really focused on this project. And I think after listening to this album for a week, I think they've really come up with something special here. So this is symphonic black metal slash doom metal. It's a hybrid genre. You can definitely get that sense, and I feel like both those elements are married very well. So there's a lot going on the album. You got clean vocals, harsh vocals, multiple types of harsh vocals from low growls to mid-tone harshes. And the clean vocals are what were such a highlight for me on this album. They really reminded me of Vortex, Dimmy Borgir. Just the intonation and just the presence of the voice was throwing me back to that era of Dimmu, which is really cool.
Love me some Vortex.
Love me some Vortex, yes. So the balance of the cleans and the harshes and the marriage between them and the harmonizations, and it's all one guy, one vocalist, was really, really cool, really creative. So you start with the first song, which is Icarus, and the song starts off, it's got these very uneasy tones. Like, for me, it was very unnerving. I'm not exactly sure why.
The bells are kind of creepy as well.
It's creepy, it's like we said, it's symphonic, so it's got, the strings and these bells going on and things, but it's got this unnerving feeling. And I first heard it and I was like, oh, what is this? Like, this sounds like kind of bad, like, ugh. And then all of a sudden I went, wait a second, maybe that was on purpose. Like, maybe they meant to really make it kind of just, ugh, right? Or maybe that was just me, I don't know. When the song kicks in and you hear this guy's voice, and I was like, whoa, that's actually a really cool voice. And I thought, maybe it's gonna continue like this. This is just the style of singing. And then he goes harsh, and I'm like, whoa, guy's got range. Like, he's got, he's got some chops. So the vocals alone was something that really carried me through the album and made me impressed by each song. But speaking of the song Icarus, there's, certain things the song does that just give it personality and substance, right? Like, they do this thing which we call a fake ending, which bands do sometimes, where a song will fade out and you think, okay, this song's over, but then all of a sudden it kicks back in again. So the Icarus does that. There's actually a couple songs on this album that do that, but Icarus does it at this one part where it fades down, right about the halfway mark, and then there's kind of a soft-spoken part, or not soft-spoken, but spoken word part, with some violin subtly playing in the background, and then the song kicks back in again. Really cool thing to just break up the pace. The song's about 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
There's some lengthy songs. They go on adventures. They go in different ways. There's lots of transitions, which is pretty cool. But you got these crushing guitar riffs, slightly droned out in certain songs. There's not a lot of tremolo picking or blast beats, at least not that I can really
It's
remember.
there, but it's not
there.
like as in your face as other black metal bands.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not just constant blast beats like a lot of black metal, but yeah, it is there. But there's a lot going for it. I know I've only talked about one song so far, but I don't want to take the whole floor, so...
Well, one thing you mentioned about Icarus, which I want to, kind of touch upon again, is the fake ending that they do. And you mentioned they do that a lot in this album. There are a lot of songs that have fake endings, and I remember when I first listened to it, I'm just like, oh my god, how many times are they going to do this? But I feel it ultimately comes to a head in the final track called Grey. And the fake ending, the quote-unquote fake ending, it's like a fake ending almost, because the song ends, everything fades out. And then it starts fading back in and then disappears.
Yeah.
And it gets me every single time. Every time I heard that, I'm like, oh, it's gonna come back. It starts fading back and I'm like, oh, whatever. But it does it just enough
It's a fake ending at the ending.
that it I turn my head like it's something coming and then it disappears. Like I think it's literally the perfect timing to make you legitimately think something else is happening and then it stops. So it conditions you through the whole album to all these fake endings. And then you have the ending when it's a fake ending, but it's actually not a fake ending. It's just the ending. How many times am I going to say ending? It's hilarious. And that, that's just I honestly don't know how many bands do it that much. We've heard it a bit, but I feel like there was a lot more of that on this album than any other album I've heard.
Yeah.
But overall, I really liked this album. And one of the biggest things I liked about it is that it feels multi-purpose. You could put this album on and totally focus on it and really enjoy it. But you could also put this album on as background music and, you wouldn't really have an issue with it. It would kind of be there. The songs go on adventure. Some of them kind of end with bookends like Icarus. Some of them don't. So it kind of goes back and forth between that. One song that I found was really interesting was Nothing's Left, which is the 4th track. This song is kind of the first song that really, really presents the doom metal side of this band.
Yeah.
Very brooding sounding
In
song.
full, we should say.
Exactly.
Because all the songs have elements of it, but this full track is just doomed to the core.
Slow paced song. And what makes this song work really, really well on the album is that it's the only song that has the entirety of it really be like this.
Yeah.
The rest of the album has a bunch of different stuff intermingled with it.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of doom bands kind of have issues with having, the album sound like the same song.
Through the whole album, yeah.
This band certainly does not have that issue. Nothing's Left isn't the whole album, it's just its own thing.
Yeah.
And one thing about that song I really love is its ending where, a lot of bands will slow down their endings or whatever. And this band does that with this song, but it keeps going. Like, I've never heard a band slow down that much in an ending. Like, it keeps slowing down. It's like, how slow is this getting?
Just for some perspective, I clocked this song at about 100 BPM, the song in total, which is pretty slow. And at the end, it slows down to 60. Give or take. Slows down to 60, so almost a half.
That's a huge jump.
That's a big jump, yeah.
And it's honestly impressive to slow yourself down that much and still stay like super on point with your timing.
Yeah.
Like especially when you're going to slower tempos like that. The slower the tempo is, the harder it is to really nail your downbeats.
Yeah.
So that's honestly really impressive for the drummer to do that, which I believe this album had a session drummer.
Was a session drummer, yeah. Alexander Pava. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, they hired a studio drummer, and I think he did a great job.
He did do a great job.
One more thing I'll mention about Nothing's Left before we move on is that its placement on the album I think is perfect. Track number 4 I think?
4.
Yeah. Just that's the sweet spot for like the mid-album cool down song. Like track 4, 5, that area.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the way, the first 3 songs have a lot more energy, then it tones it right down. You got about 6 minutes of this droned out guitar. It's got a sick guitar solo in it. Really cool stuff.
There were some really nice solos on this album. Very theatric sounding solos.
Yeah. And some of them are kind of waily, some of them are very shreddy.
It was a good mix.
It was a good mix, yeah. It felt like it was different guitar players playing each one. Because a lot of times you hear solos on albums and you can tell it's the same guy doing the solos because it has a style. The fact that this album is so diverse in its range just gives each solo its own personality too, which was really cool.
Exactly. One of my favorite songs on the album was The Magician, and we're going to play a little bit of that just so you can hear what that sounds like. So this song has a really cool energy to it and has a really cool and creepy dark vibe to it. But one of the coolest things I thought about it, and this happens in the second chorus onward, is that as he's singing, you hear this vocal in the background and it pans between both channels. And I thought that was so cool when I heard that for the first time. It was like a small thing I picked up, like, whoa, he's going from left to right. Like, that's such a cool thing that just kind of envelops you. Like, it's a really cool play on, using both channels like that, which, you don't see too often. So when a band is doing stuff like that, you can tell, like, there's a lot of depth to the album. And that is a big thing I noticed. There's tons of depth. There are so many small moments on this album that you can pick out that, honestly, after we listened to this album as much as we did, there's probably plenty more moments that neither of us noticed.
That's true. A lot of the songs are like, in the 6, 7, 8 minute long, stretch. And they're just packed full of stuff. Because you got all these things. You got, like we said, it's only a 2-piece, but they got the symphonic elements. They got choirs in there, like Gregorian chant type of stuff, which is really, really cool. Gives it a very dark, ominous kind of, you said brooding earlier. That's kind of a feeling I kept getting throughout the album. But there's a lot going on, and it's really cool that it's all done in creative ways. And nothing ever feels really repetitive either, right? So, I don't know. I think we both enjoyed the album quite a lot. What do you say we get to ratings?
All right, sounds like a good idea. Anyway, with my rating, I honestly think this album is super solid, and it's one of those albums where I really struggled to find anything bad to say about it. Honestly, like when I first listened to it, I kind of felt that some songs would drag on a little bit, some songs kind of had too much content. But then as I listened to it more, I kind of felt that, that's not as much of an issue because you don't have to, super duper focus all the time when listening to this album. It still works when you're not doing so. So the fact that this album is such an all-around album and has great riffs and is just overall super strong, it gets my toe tag.
You know what? That's nice, toe tag. I feel very similar to you as far as songs feeling like they drag on a little bit. I felt like that at certain points through the week. But again, like you, I would listen to them and go, you know what? Is it dragging on, or is it just kind of changing enough to the point where I'm kind of losing my focus on it, which is not a good thing, but not a bad thing. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I really like the album. I don't think it's a perfect album. I think that it does have some flaws, and I really don't know what they are, though. That's a weird thing. That's a weird thing. It's just like there wasn't a lot that was just screaming out to me, but there was a lot of little things that were like,
it was speaking to you, but not screaming to you.
Speaking to me, not screaming to me. Sure, we could put it like that. It was ticking all the right boxes for me, though. I think it gets my toe tag as well. I'm actually very surprised. I was not expecting this album to really be as entertaining as it was. I totally expected to enjoy it the first few listens, then get bored of it, which did not happen. I did add some songs to my playlist, which is something I do when I really like songs. So I think this album deserves 2 toe tags, and that's surprising to me because I didn't think it was gonna get that, to be honest.
Honestly, same case for me. But regardless, congratulations Amidst the Withering for joining the 2 toe tag recipient list. This album's really cool, guys. It just came out, so go check it out and tell us in the comments below what are your guys' first impressions. We'd love to hear it. Seriously, check this album out. It is a great time. Anyway, guys,
let me add something real quick. These guys are on all social media platforms: iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, they're on there. You can search their name. They have an official website. We'll link that in the description below. If you guys have no idea what these guys sound like, based after what we just said over the past 10 or so minutes, Dimmu Borgir, Flux God Apocalypse, Old Man's Child, Borknagar, like these are the types of bands, Paradise Lost, these are the types of bands that this band fits in with. So if you're fans of any of those bands, I think you'll love these guys.
Absolutely. With that being said, that's all we got for you guys today. Remember to like the video if you like it, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm TV Fish.
And I'm Vile Self.
And we'll see you guys later.